You know what you should do. You've thought about it, planned it, maybe even started it. And then something happens. You delay. You distract yourself. You lose momentum for no clear reason. And later, you look back and think, why did I do that to myself? It doesn't feel logical. Because it isn't. Self-sabotage isn't about not knowing better. It's about something in your mind trying to protect you in a way that quietly holds you back. Self-sabotage rarely looks dramatic. It looks normal. Scrolling instead of starting. Overthinking instead of acting. Quitting right before progress becomes real. You might even tell yourself a story. I'll do it later. I need to prepare more. Now's not the right time. But underneath those reasons, there's a pattern. You get close to something meaningful, and something inside you pulls away. Not loudly, just enough to slow you down. And over time, this creates a frustrating loop. You want progress, but your behavior moves in the opposite direction, which leads to a deeper question. If you want something, why would you sabotage it? Here's the shift. Self-sabotage is not self-destruction. It's self-protection. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your progress. It's trying to protect you from something it perceives as a threat. That threat might not be obvious. It could be fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear of change. Because success doesn't just bring rewards. It brings new expectations, new visibility, new pressure. And if your brain associates those with discomfort, it tries to keep you where things feel familiar, even if familiar isn't where you want to stay. Self-sabotage is driven by a conflict between two systems, your conscious goals and your subconscious safety system. Let's break it down. 1. The threat response. When you move towards something important, a goal, a change, or risk, your brain evaluates it, not for logic, but for safety. If it detects uncertainty or potential failure, the amygdala activates and sends a signal. This might not be safe. 2. Cognitive dissonance. If your actions don't match your current self-image, the brain experiences discomfort. Example, you want to succeed, but deep down, you don't fully believe you can. This creates cognitive dissonance, a gap between who you are and who you're trying to become. So the brain tries to reduce that discomfort, not by upgrading your identity immediately, but by pulling your behavior back. 3. Avoidance loop. Once the brain detects discomfort, it shifts to avoidance. You distract yourself, delay action, lower effort. And here's the key. Avoidance feels relieving. So your brain learns. Avoiding this reduces stress, which reinforces the behavior. 4. The identity barrier. There's also something deeper. A mental model we can call the identity ceiling. You tend to act within the limits of how you see yourself. If success goes beyond that identity, your brain pulls you back down. Not consciously, but automatically. You don't break self-sabotage by forcing discipline. You break it by working with your brain's safety system. 1. Make the fear visible. Most sabotage patterns are driven by hidden fears. Example, instead of saying, I'm lazy, ask, what am I actually afraid might happen if I succeed or fail? This activates conscious processing, reducing emotional intensity. 2. Lower the psychological risk. Big goals trigger bigger fear responses. So shrink the action. Example, instead of, I need to finish everything today, try, I'll do 10 minutes. This reduces threat perception, making action easier. 3. Align identity with action. Instead of focusing only on outcomes, shift your identity. Example, not, I need to succeed, but I'm someone who shows up consistently. This reduces cognitive dissonance and builds alignment. 4. Expect resistance, don't fight it. Resistance isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're moving outside your comfort zone. Example, you sit down to work and feel the urge to quit. Instead of reacting, notice it. This is the part where my brain tries to pull me back. This creates distance from the impulse. 5. Build small evidence. Your brain updates identity through proof, not intention. Example, each small completed action becomes evidence. I can follow through. Over time, this rewires belief. 6. Integration. When you step back, something becomes clear. Self-sabotage isn't random. It's a loop built from fear, avoidance, temporary relief. Your brain tries to protect you from discomfort, but ends up limiting your growth. And once you see that, you stop fighting yourself and start guiding yourself. There's a quiet truth about self-sabotage. The part of you that holds back isn't your enemy. It's a part of you that learned, At some point, that staying small felt safer. And now, it's just doing its job. But you're allowed to update that system. Slowly, gently, without force. Because growth doesn't happen by destroying that part of you. It happens by showing it that moving forward is safe too.